It's fucking light. Look. This is now 7:30 in the morning. That means only one thing. If it's getting light at this time in the morning, winter's nearly over. So it's probably time I had a review and made sure all my winter projects are complete. Better get the finger out. So it has been a number of weeks since we finished this, and deck corrector stuff. Really need to take a break from that, because as useful as it is to vary the content on Tools and Track, that damn near killed me. That was a lot of work, and it took me off of the low cost. So we only get back in there, finish the low cost, finish that. But I do love a distraction, I'm not gonna lie. Now, we do have an MX-5 sitting outside that we need to strip, granted, and I'm about to get on that right now, but I may have done something rather rash. Alright, I said it was a bit rash, but truth be told, this is probably one of the more considered decisions I've made when it comes to buying a car. And that might seem quite unlikely, considering that I am 5'10", and really not a small person, but I kind of miss my TVR. Well, to an extent. Right, let me put my cards on the table. I was under no illusion that that red MX-5 was going to be an absolute pup. And truth be told, it was that and more. But I did have a hankering for one, not just to use as a donor for the remaining parts that I needed for the low cost, but because I like them. They're no frills, they're really basic, and well, I wanted a daily. What I need from a daily, and what I've struggled for a long time buying and selling various cars that you guys haven't seen because they just don't really float anyone's boat, is my dailies have been too complex. I've been buying really modern cars on the assumption that they'll be reliable, and they're not. So what I wanted for a daily was something fairly frugal, 1.8, basic, 2 seats, rear-wheel drive, literally nothing in this that I cannot fix in a day. Also, I've got all the spares I'm ever going to need, sitting out there with the red one, and it's fun. Like, it's not particularly fast, it's not particularly advanced, but that's the exact reason why I want it. It's just a no-frills giggle to have for a daily. And this one, unlike the red one, is solid. I wanted to get something that was going to be no dramas like we had with the Skyline, so rust-free was the order of the day. Now, if anyone knows MX-5s, you'll know that rust-free just doesn't exist. Well, I'm here to tell you, it does. You've just got to hunt for one. No rust, no rust, no rust, no rust, no rust. No rust, no rust, no rust, no rust, no rust. However, rust. Right in my head, I ain't got the blues no more, I said. Steps on more, I said. Pick me up, saying I got love, yeah, yeah. Right in my head. No more, I said. Steps on more, I said. Pick me up, saying I got love, yeah, yeah. Right through my head, I ain't got the blues no more, I said. Steps on more, I said. Pick me up, saying I got love, yeah, yeah. Also, in the interest of trying something new, and obviously coilovers are not anything new because we do them all the bloody time. Coilover socks. seen these advertised, and one of the biggest letdowns for me with coilovers is after about 6 months they're absolutely seized. You can't adjust them, you busy on buying springs and shocks. So in the interest of maybe not having that happen, we're going to invest in these and I'll report back to you in 6 months and let you know if they are of any use whatsoever or absolute snake oil. Thick with you. So this is a problem, because that is as low as the rear coilovers will go, which I think might be 3mm taller than standard. But anyway, that's a tomorrow problem. I've done all I need to do to get that wee car more or less tip top, rust free. Anyway, today, now time to kill another one. Let's bring it in. You've got to chuckle. One of the bits that I actually wanted was the nuts that hold these long bolts on, because mine seemed to have gone miss. And that's a spurious number, which we will not be using. Fuck's sake. This man has been Tom Sawyered into painting my white fence a treat. Look at that. That's a book reference.
Oh, guess what I've done?
Didn't read a book, clearly. Ah, fuck's sake, Chrissy. You've ruined it. Just in case there was any doubt as to why we weren't saving this. In fact, while we have this on camera, let me also illustrate. The torch might be an absolute fucking win for this. Here's what's left of the front cross member. So, like, I've seen rotten MX-5s, but this one is just next level, man. So, let's explain ourselves. We'll start at the back and work our way front and explain what's going on. As you'll know, exhaust is off. That's a keeper. It's actually cobalt stainless. It's pretty good nick, so we'll chuck that on the blue one. We're taking the frame off that ties in the bottom of the subframe. Probably explain why we didn't take the subframe off. I did debate it. However, there are some issues that are going to prevent it. So first up, we have no access to even grind these bolts down, and as I've mentioned, there's an exemplary amount of rust on this car. So the idea of taking the subframe off as one unit scares me. So what we're going to do instead is I've isolated all of this. We've got the hub bolts off. That was the very first thing we did, because without the car with some form of weight on it, they won't come off. So they are ready to go. We're going to break the arms off the bottom here, take the uprights down with it, take this off from the two bolts down, and I was going to split it here. However, the captive studs on the top that hold them in are now spinning as well, because it's a Mazda. So without this down to chop them off, we are humped. So instead, I've split the shaft where it comes in here, ready to go, but we are also going to split it from here, as you can see. So I've isolated it from there. This slip yoke will drop out, so we can take this all as one unit. After that's done, we'll then focus on the front, but that will be the next task. The reason I'm not just going gung-ho hell for leather with this, I do actually need to roll this back out and scrap it, so I want this to all go back on so it can roll again. So once all the diff and lovely LSD nonsense is isolated, we will semi-build this back up.
You actually cutting this?
Right, so we've got two methods of getting an anti-roll bar off. This is the fighty rust way, because obviously the engine will fill all the way down. That way's a bit more efficient.
Also careful.
So you do it. We're at a stage now where, you know, it's the afternoon, fucks us diminished completely. We can't find a place to sensibly open this power steering line, so control it. Apparently.
I think we're going to need to.
We're absolutely.
Look at hacksaw.
Absolutely, yeah.
Hacksaw.
Hacksaw, Jim Duggan.
Okay.
Yo, sump plug. Yo. It's like pissing with an erection, isn't it?
2 years later.
Right, now it's time now to take the second half of your donor vehicle apart. There's an engine in the box. We're dropping this out with the subframe. So I've undone the struts, I've undone all the loom, all the coolant lines, all the power steering lines that would attach it to the chassis. We'll take the power steering of the car. We've undone the steering rack. We've undone everything else. I'll show you in a minute. We're now going to drop the car and the subframe on here, undo the last slack 4 bolts, lift the whole car off. Oh, fuck me. Actually, don't have enough leverage for this. Up a bit. Right, we have more or less all of this out, as you can see. We're just doing the final unsheath. So, Jag. Was rusty. Not rusty. Right, that was quite a busy weekend, but let's be honest, we've achieved quite a bit. Now, that red MX-5 obviously was a parts car. We've bought it. The plan was to scuttle it, use a lot of the parts to cover the cost of an LSD, and I think we've done that. We've got an engine, we've got a gearbox, we've got the seats which I've stashed out the way. There's a few things there. Also a cat, if I'm being honest, that'll probably fetch a few bob. All of these things I don't need for the low cost, but similarly, there's a lot of things on that car that, now that I've got the blue one, I've transferred over. We've got the intake system, we've got strut brace, we've got, if I'm being honest, the LSD, we might come back to that later. We've got a full interior, which has the 2.5 upgrades like cup holders, head unit, exhaust. I mean, the list goes on. There's a lot of bits that have made this car just that little bit better. And to be quite honest, if I never sold anything else off the Red MX-5, that's been a good win. But I will make more money off it, so I can't say that it's been a worthless endeavour, but it's also been a low-cost diversion, so apologies. What it does, however, give me is options for the low-cost too. So if I can't get that engine and gearbox sold, I've got a spare, and that might be quite useful for what I've got coming up. Particularly, as you'll note, the Supra has had its throat cut for 6 months now because I don't have a spare 1JZ, so I can't use it. Having that option to build an engine while I'm using another engine on the low cost is quite worthwhile, especially as I really want to get it running soon, so that'll help. Anyway, I've waffled enough, I've also done enough, so we're going to wrap up here. As you can imagine, there's more to come with this, but not a tremendous amount of wildness. I have got just daily driver duties to do like this, so don't expect race car prep or anything like that. But it'll do me well. I'm glad I chose one of these. They are good cars. Anyway, if you just found this, like, subscribe, bell, all that jazz, because you know, that's the only way we go. If you feel like supporting a bit more than that, patreon.com/toolsandtrack. We actually do have Patreon only stuff coming up in there now as well, because I've got plenty more going on in the low cost, and you know, it's just nice to be nice. Anyway, that is definitely me. I'm going to go home and drive with the roof off. So until next week, guys, drive safe.